In this video, I'm going to show you how to multiply a polynomial by a binomial, and also I'm going to show you how to multiply two binomials together. So you see the question here, and first of all, this is our monomial and this is our polynomial. When we have multiplication in between, what we want to do in this case is distribute the 6x squared to the 3x cubed. We want to distribute the 6x squared to the 5x, and we want to distribute the 6x squared to the negative 7. You may hear other teachers say you're going to push the 6x squared through into all of the terms inside the parentheses. So your first step is going to look like 6x squared times 3x cubed. So we'll do the 6 times the 3, the coefficients, and we'll multiply the x squared times the x cubed, which means you add the exponents, getting x to the 5th. The next term we'll move on to is the 6x squared times a positive 5x. Now we're always going to look at this sign to the left. We're always going to look at this sign, and we're going to consider what's going to happen when we multiply the 6x squared by the positive 5x in order to determine the sign down here. So since 6x squared is positive and 5x is positive, we're going to have a positive in our answer. And 6 times 5 is 30. And when we do x squared times the x, what we're going to end up with is x cubed. Because remember, this x here has an exponent of 1. Then we have one more term to distribute through, and that term is the 6x squared times the negative 7. Again, I'm talking about what's to the left of this number here. So this is a positive, and this is a negative, so we should remember our integer rules. That would be a negative, and 6 times 7 is 42, and we'd have 42x squared. We can't forget that our initial monomial that we're distributing through has x squared in it. So this is how you would multiply a monomial, single term, times a polynomial. You just distribute it through to all the terms that follow inside the parentheses. Now, example is multiplying a binomial. Here we have one term and two terms, so it's a binomial times another binomial. And this is very similar, because what we're going to do is we're going to push through the 2x to all the terms in the second binomial, and then we're also going to push through the negative 5. Now I'm just going to start with the 2x. So that's 2x times 3x, which would give us 6x squared. And then we're going to do the 2x times the 2, and it's a positive 2, just like we did before. We're looking at the signs to the left, and it's a positive 2 times a positive 2. So we're going to have another positive 4x. And that's how you would push through the 2x to both terms in the second quantity. Now, what we'll do is we'll distribute the negative 5, we'll push it through as well, and we also have to consider that this is a negative 5 because of the sign to the left. So we'll have negative 5 times a positive 3x, a negative times a positive is a negative, and that will be 15x. And then we will multiply the negative 5 times a positive 2, negative times a positive, which would give us a negative 10. Now, I didn't do anything on the previous slide because I didn't have any like terms, and I guess now there's a chance that we can talk about what we should do if we end up with any like terms. Here what we have in the middle are two terms that are both x terms, both with a degree of 1, so they are considered like terms. So what we can do is we can combine those terms. The 6x squared doesn't have a like term, so it just drops down, and the minus 10 doesn't have a like term, so it just drops down. And the two terms in the middle, positive 4 minus 15, would be a negative 11x. And that right there is how you multiply binomials by distribution, or pushing through each term. Each term here needs to multiply both terms over here. So the 2x times both, and then the negative 5 times both.